Promising great news tonight as Republicans and Democrats, Senate and House, step forward and say, you know what, where the hell is the darn stimulus check? Who left out the $1,200 stimulus check in this bill? This is amid President-elect Joe Biden saying a $1,200 stimulus check is still in play. President Donald Trump promising millions of Americans he would always give you a stimulus check, and he's going to Georgia to fight to win those 2 Georgia Senate seats. Everyone has always promised you a stimulus check, but now they're actually saying it. The question is how quickly and how fast can people get the stimulus check into the continuing resolution budget bill, which ironically, with a December 11th deadline, means they got to get this to a vote and an agreement, a kumbaya, by at least the middle of the next week, Wednesday, because they need 3 days to vote. How quickly can they get this done? I'll have the incredible breaking news tonight. Meantime, $2,400 if you're on SSI and SSDI, yes. Where would that land? I'll explain that. Will there be extension of FPUC? How about UI? And what about PUA? And what about that retroactiveness of FPUC, which is now at upwards of 20 weeks? They still owe you for FPUC. How about multiple stimulus checks? Are they still on play? And what is the missing ingredient or the silent ingredient in all this? It's VP-elect Harris. Breaking developments about her tonight as well. There's incredible great news across the corner, and I hope you're safe and calm and relaxed as much of the country is facing massive ICU bed shortages. California going on lockdown across Southern California tomorrow morning. It's shocking, but we're together. We're the Purple Power, and big stimulus checks are coming from your states. I'll have that as well. This is incredible recording of Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Evenings LA with incredible details about your second stimulus check, your second stimulus package, state stimulus checks, and that third stimulus package, which is the massive, massive January package that'll include 20 weeks of retroactive FPUC, hazard pay, $2,400 of SSI. I'll be going over all those details and more. But please subscribe, because no one is dedicated more to getting you money right now. I don't mean 5 days from now. I don't mean the middle of next week. I mean right now. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 years from now, right now. I'm fighting to get you money every different way I can, whether it's a state stimulus check, a state extended benefits, state escalated benefits, rent, food, utilities. I'm getting people thousands of dollars, and I'm getting the money at the 11th hour in no less than the last 3 days, whether it's myself or the volunteers. Countless stories of people on the brink of homelessness who, because of this channel, had their lives saved with $5, $10, $15, $20,000 free stimulus, or aka grants, given to them that we found. That's the spirit of the Purple Power. And stay informed and pushing. So please subscribe. Please subscribe to this channel, because no one's keeping you on top like this. Then also like this video. It helps in the algorithm rankings. In tonight's video, I'll be going over what's going on with Congress and this continuing resolution bill. Will get done by December 11th. And what is really transpiring about this $1,200 check? It's all really great news. Then I'll be going over the deal provisions, the FPUC confusion, the UI confusion. Then I'll be getting to SSI and SSDI. Where's the $2,400 for that? Can you explain what that's going to be? And then what's happening in January with the multiple stimulus checks? And what is Senator Harris doing? Why is suddenly things changing so quickly? Finally, I'll turn to states. States are sending out stimulus checks right now, and you need them, as lockdowns are announced across the country, including here in Southern California. Southern California is going on lockdown tonight because of massive shortage of ICU beds across Southern California. The situation is getting very dire, and now is the time for stimulus checks. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here tonight is that December 11th is still the deadline to do a budget bill, or the federal government shuts down. Now, there has been gossip and I'll say gossip, of a potential to extend the budget bill deadline past December 11th. It's only gossip. Nothing has been written and no bill has been introduced. December 11th still is the deadline, and by my predictions, will remain the deadline or else it will shut down. What's happening tonight? Well, tonight, Republicans and Democrats both have come forward and said, who wrote this junk? You need a stimulus check in here. Who does a bill like this in the middle of the pandemic when there's lockdowns and there's ICU shortages and you're just bailing out businesses again? Stop with the bailing out of businesses. You need to bail out Americans. And Americans include people who lost their jobs or are about to lose their jobs and people who just weren't employed in the first place but need a stimulus check. It's important to understand when we talk about stimulus checks versus unemployment. Unemployment would not get to you potentially by the end of December if they passed unemployment in a continuing resolution budget bill. But a stimulus check with a December 11th deadline means a stimulus check would land in your bank account around December 21st. It's 10 days after the day of which it becomes law. That means a stimulus check before Christmas. That is the Christmas that millions of Americans want. And today, Republicans and Democrats both came out and said, you know what? We need a stimulus check in here. Whether it's the Republican out of the Senate who aligned himself with the Democratic AOC, whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's Joe Biden, but the most telling point was that if you looked at Fox News or you looked at CNN News, they both had frontline stories of where the hell is the $1,200 stimulus check in there? It remains a question where it was. The problem creators, not problem solvers, but problem creators, Tom and Jerry, two Republicans out of New York and New Jersey who seek to protect big businesses and restaurants before American citizens, think that you should sit back and just float through this pandemic, be evicted on January 1st with no eviction moratorium, and not have a stimulus check. That's not cutting it. And guess who presumably didn't like that as well? It's Senator Harris. Joe Biden in the press conference yesterday said he's been speaking with VP-elect Harris extensively about this budget bill. There's a reason he should. She's the woman who wrote with Bernie Sanders. She's the senator who wrote with Bernie Sanders the famous $2,000 a month, every month for 6 months bill until the pandemic ends or unemployment goes down. And now everyone's saying, wait, what's going on? Now, let me remind you about something else which at issue, which I haven't recently. No less than a week ago, Joe Biden's #1 coronavirus task member said, you know how we would crush this virus is going on lockdown for 3 weeks, but first giving you a stimulus check to cover you for those 3 weeks. Guess what's happening tonight? California's going on lockdown in Southern California for 3 weeks, and we don't have a stimulus check. That's where things have changed very quickly. What's also really changed for the positive very quickly is someone has zipped up Nancy Pelosi. Thank goodness. On Thursday, we were presuming, because we were told this was going to happen, that Nancy Pelosi was going to go home and write with some grammar, some changes to the moderates bill, and come back and tell people what she wants to do and go higher than $900 billion. In essence, making this a process that would never, ever end. She didn't do it, nor did Chuck Schumer. The two people have remained quiet through this exchange and allowed Joe Biden to step forward and say, get it done. So will it get done? I fully believe that there's enough force between you, these moderates, Sanders, Biden, AOC, and others, urging for a $1,200 stimulus check to be in the package, to get it in the package. I urge you to go on social media and take this video and tag those two problem creators and say, how dare you not include a stimulus check? Problem creators, you're the creator of the problem. We need a stimulus check, we need an eviction moratorium, and we need a mortgage forbearance, because the only mortgage forbearance in place, which is extended to late January, is for mortgages underwritten by Freddie and Fannie Mae. All of the mortgages will go into foreclosure. Can't have that. Problem creators, you've created a problem. You need a stimulus check and eviction moratorium in them. Next, what's going on with everything else? Well, in January, the third stimulus package will have the following. Multiple stimulus checks, Joe Biden is promising. Hazard pay, $10,000. FPUC, $600 a week, retroactive for 20 weeks back to when it ended in late July. An extension of UI, an extension of PUA. The EIDL coming back once again with EIDL grants for people who did not get paid the first time around, EIDL grants for new applicants, and EIDL loans for everyone else, PPP, food grants, and rent grants for people at the end of the eviction moratorium so they have money for their rent as well. And finally, either in that, but what I believe in a separate standalone bill, the SSI relief. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, and Veterans will get the following relief. $2,400, calculated at $200 a month every month until the pandemic, until December of next year, plus up to a 20% increase lifetime, plus a new benchmark that would increase their benefits based upon a new benchmark other than COLA. Next, is there any type of unemployment relief in the proposals for December 11th? Yes, there are. Let me explain those. First, they're proposing to extend your unemployment benefits under PEUC, your federal weeks of unemployment extension, your unemployment extension, to late January. Even if you've expired, they would pick you up again and then continue into January. Second, extension of PUA into late January. Third, those two items are in both of the proposals. Third, one proposal which I don't think is going to ever pass, FPUC forward, not retroactive, for 3 weeks of $300 a week. Just get an extra stimulus check. I mean, what is that thing? $900 of FPUC? Wait a second, you owe us $12,000 of FPUC. Why are you giving us $900? I don't see that happening. I don't think Joe Biden likes it. I don't think it's going to happen. It's an accounting confusion, just waiting to happen, an excuse to get away from paying you $12,000. No. Now let's turn to states. States are doing incredible jobs across the board. Whether you're in New Mexico and you're getting a $1,200 stimulus check, yes. Or Colorado getting a $375 stimulus check, yes. Or San Diego having new rent grants. States are doing 3 major things in the next 24, 48 hours. And you're going to see a lot of this come Monday. One, they're doing stimulus checks. Stimulus checks in the pure sense of the word. Just like a federal stimulus check, it's just a state stimulus check. $1,200 in New Mexico. Second, they're doing rent stimulus, free rent, and they're doing it in places they never did it before. In Georgia, county after county after county after county, they're announcing them right now, and including Atlanta. In Houston, a city that had rent grants, then ran out of them, is bringing them back. New York, the big shocker. New York, a state that ran a rent assistance stimulus program in July, ran out of money, then became the topic of discussion for Nancy Pelosi for 4 months, saying states are going bankrupt. They have no money. They need assistance. They're unable to pay anyone. Guess what? New York found all this money sitting under someone's mattress, and so they're going to do a rent program for their state. So what's important for you to understand is that if you've looked for rent in your city, county, or state in the last few days and didn't find it, now it could be coming out right now. And the situation's changing quickly. So for example, in Georgia, where there's 3 or 4 counties that are doing it, yours may not be included. Look next week because it may then be added. Then the last one is that states are doing extended unemployment weeks. What does that mean? States have your normal weeks of unemployment, 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 6 weeks. And then after those weeks expire, then you've been going on to federal extended weeks. Well, some states are stepping up because they're like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with Congress, but I don't want you to lose weeks. I don't want you to go off of benefits on January 1st because Congress can't get their act together. So we're going to give you extra extended weeks of benefits called extended weeks of benefits. And they're doing that in Hawaii. All really exciting news. If you've not subscribed, you've not found a volunteer, if you've not followed this channel, I'm ensuring that you get this money right now. And the way you get the money is from rent grants, food, and utility grants. Utility grants are all over the place. And then in some cases, stimulus checks in your cities or states. Next, escalated benefits. That's when you raise your unemployment numbers higher. Escalated benefits are being offered across across the board. And it's important to understand that escalated benefits have nothing to do with Congress. You can get escalated benefits for any week you were unemployed in 2019, even if you're employed now. This is applied to the situation, the period in which you were unemployed. Finally, EIDL. Boy, more successes across the board. Viewers are getting fortunes on EIDL. I've gotten viewers $5 to $25 million in EIDL. But the message I'm giving viewers now is a little bit more tense and more important, which is I'm saying to you, I'm worried that December 15th is a deadline potentially for all these agencies to start returning their money. And I'm worried that SBA is going to say, EIDL, closed, returning the money. So I want you to get your application on file now if you intend to apply and get the funds in your hands literally before it gets shut down potentially. I'm going to say this why. Because I've done enough videos to see when people got an application in on file for the grant on time and they waited around a week past, 2 weeks past, 3 weeks past, and then they said, oh, the grant program's closed. I applied 5 weeks ago. Where's my grant? Well, we ran out of money and we were just processing you. You don't want to be processing and not get money. Finally, there is incredible hope across the board. And what I want you to stay in focus and stay with me with is that the situation for ICU usage is getting very tense. I see usage in emergency rooms across the country, the number of beds and the occupancy levels are really getting to maximum levels. And that is really causing a sense of urgency across the country. This is before the comments by Joe Biden just 2 days ago. If Congress fails to act by December 12th, 12 million Americans will lose unemployment benefits. They rely on food on the table. Emergency paid leave will end. The moratorium on evictions will expire. States and cities will lose vital resources. We cannot wait. We can't. And so ultimately, Purple Power, you need to be on social media. Take this video, tag the people that support the propositions that we're discussing in this video. The supporters are AOC. Biden's transition team, which I think is like 47 transitions or something like that. Bernie Sanders and the people who don't support what's going on. You need to tag them as well, which are the problem creators, Munch, whatever his name is, Manson, and Romney, and then get the message out loud and clear to McConnell, his press secretary, and his chief of staff. Join me next on Purple Power Live, in which I answer your questions about CARES Act 1. And then join me tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. for Early Mornings LA. As always, stay informed, stay focused, and stay at LA for more.